Yeah, remember, and then
Yeah.
we said,
I thought it was a surety.
It said a surety bond in the agreement initially.
Where though?
and then,
No, I'm sorry, it said a performance bond.
I don't remember, it's a, we can send over the signed copy that was approved.
well, I know there was one thing that was in front of us, and we talked about security of the city, and then I think letter of credit was brought up by you, and then, because I wanted to be, make sure that we were secured as a city, and then, like Dan said, which I agreed, that we don't want to empty the pockets so that these guys can't,
Right.
do their business, so to speak, so.
And so where we were at that point in time was to get the deal done under the deadline, we had to basically agree to what was already agreed to, or simply abandon the agreement. So what we agreed was that here's what's in front of us, both parties agreed to it, and we also agreed that we'd continue to negotiate, and that's what we're doing. So whatever was in front of you, that language was what is approved and part of the agreement.
Our minutes from the meeting say, to approve the development agreement between the City of Taylor and Realty Transitions, to allow the city to make the necessary budget amendments for this transaction, and to include section 2.07 as amended per court counsel during the meeting.
Yeah.
So what language are we talking about? Because the language that's in the agreement was performance bond. What does that say?
Actually,
You can read
Yeah, I
what
can't
he
really-
said was the developer shall provide $3 million for irrevocable letter of credit or an alternative form of security as approved by the city. That's what was said.
What page is that on, Tim?
So there has been no alternate terms
Okay.
that we've agreed to, there's nothing.
It's 2.07 on page 6 of the original agreement, is what we're talking about.
So I guess I was under the understanding that this would be included as part of the
So did
vote
I. Right.
of the
So
agreement
did I.
last meeting.
Well, it's still $3 million, whatever that is, it's still $3 million. That's the security.
Whether it's going to be a bond or credit or
It's either
whatever.
a letter of credit or an alternative form of security
Right.
approved by the city.
But it's still $3 million.
Okay.
So, okay, so it's the same.
But we're not going to vote on this tomorrow anyway, so I guess it's a moot issue.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, my question would be, are they free to continue moving forward with their... Well, they have until Friday to comply with all the requirements. At that point in time, no, they would not be.
Well, they don't know what the requirements are.
They do. They've been in constant communication with the attorney, and there's, I'm not gonna get into all this out here in public because some of it would require closed door. But they have the agreement. They have until Friday, and, or we could continue to negotiate.
Maybe we should go into closed doors.
Yeah, because the fact that we, this is a rush deal, we don't know where, who, what, and I'm all for that. If you guys want to wait till the end, or if you want to do it now, it don't matter to me.
Well, let's get through the other stuff, I would think.
Okay.
I think it needs to be talked about here.
Sure, if you guys want, I mean, I'd be happy to. The attorney's not here. If I would have known that you guys wanted to discuss it, I would have had him come, but certainly be more than willing to cover it.
I did. Well, I think that the fact that it was on the agenda, of course we were going to discuss it, but the
Yeah.
note was being pulled, so.
I mean, in the amendment, I don't want to, there's a matter of negotiation that continues to go on, and I don't want to jeopardize that. But the city's position is that we're going to continue to make every effort to protect the city of Taylor while coming up with a reasonable solution that allows the developer some latitude. That reasonable solution seems to be the difference of opinion here.
Okay. Just one question that I wanted to clarify. A letter of credit does not mean that $3 million has to be put in escrow somewhere. It's just a note, isn't it?
I mean, I'm no expert in letter of credit. Dan would probably know more of that. They basically purchase it at a percentage fee. So it's most of the time it's a 2%, maybe it's a 1% number, but it's a non-refundable amount. So if you purchased it, it would cost you $60,000 and you cannot recover that amount of money.
I think these gentlemen would have to explain what their bank is requiring of them for this letter of credit. The comments that you guys have heard me made is that in my experience going back years, I was never a lender, but I was involved in banking, and I'm going back 3 years. Maybe the industry's changed, but in and of itself, a letter of credit didn't require cash. It requires collateral because it's a guarantee by the bank to cover if they default. So it's definitely a secured transaction. My argument is it's not secured by cash. If they've been told otherwise, or if that's the way it works, they would have to speak to that, but I can tell you in years past, letters of credit were granted, were provided without using cash as collateral. It could be assignments of cash value of life insurance. It could be real estate. There could be any number of assets that one could grant to support a transaction, be it a letter of credit, be a standby letter of credit. I can't speak for their bank or their financial situation. They'd have to tell us what their requirements are from their bank.
Well, we can come back to this.
Mhm.
Well, if we go in closed doors, I'd like to know that now,
It is,
unless they're gonna be included.
A letter
No,
of
there's
credit.
pending negotiations, I
Okay.
wouldn't be able to.
but the answer to that question is a bank will require a $3 million deposit of irrevocable funds on hand that we would have to deposit to secure that.
And pay the $60,000 for the line of credit too.
And pay the $60,000 for the letter of credit.
They've told you, if you offered
If
real
we,
estate?
if we have to do real estate, it's a full credit review, it's a full appraisal review. We have to do
And there's
what you would do for any
costs
mortgage
associated
loan.
with appraisal for
And it
sure.
would have to be $3 million of real estate that we have to
Well,
evaluate.
sure, that's what I said. It'd have to be secured, but it doesn't have to be secured by cash.
Correct.
That's a
My
surety
understanding.
bond.
Yep, but that's a letter of credit too.
Number 9, this is a motion to approve Glenn as the street administrator for the city of Taylor. Glenn's not here.
No,
Yeah,
Glenn's
it's
not.
back
Oh, there it is.
I don't have any questions about that. That was what,
Dave Mackey
was
was,
feeling beforehand.
Um, Number 10 is the fuel contract for RKA Petroleum on as-needed basis to extend it through June 30th, 2016. Any questions on this?
This is an expiring contract?
I believe it is, yes.
And it has-
Glenn, you want to talk about RKA Petroleum's contract? I think it was an expiring contract.
It was, and it was, they agreed to hold the terms the same
Still the same
for
class.
the upcoming year.
We would have to approve it because it was expiring, but they.
So there's not an extension in the existing contract, and does this get bid out, or is there other firms that could do it for the same, or how do we?
that's an option, you could bid it out, I'm not.
I'm just curious
yeah.
if
Could get it cheaper.
we did want to, or I don't know what the terms of the existing contract are.
I'm not sure, I didn't load it into the agenda, Glenn, do you know?
I did talk to Richard today about it, and I guess there's an index they look at, it's called the OPIS index, and we pay a margin over that.
So,
Gas is really down right now, too.
yeah.
But through Chair, Councilman's question, that is a good question. I'll review it. I don't have the contract in front of me either, but I'll review the contract. You guys don't have a copy of the actual contract?
No.
No.
Just the.
I'll email you guys. I'll
Also
check.
got us the email and on your expense, that's it. I mean, I guess, I would just want to know is, how do we know we couldn't get it cheaper if we bid it out? But-
Understood.
Number 11, this is for DPW Vehicle Maintenance. Account. This looks like another blanket purchase order, not to exceed $99,200.
Right.
And 12, this is a motion to approve adopting the construction code rules, Part H, for the electrical code, as amended, I guess.
Does this kind of go along with the building thing that we approved not too long ago? Does anybody?
not the
to bring them
fees.
up to the standard, okay, or to the,
Who put this in? Who's,
Jamie
Oh.
McCarty.
huh?
Jamie McCarty.
Jamie McCarty.
oh,
I think
okay.
it's just a